So, the name of my channel is Let's Cook and Read a Book. Now, it might come across as an odd combination, but believe me, there are no two things in the world that have so much in common, such as a good dish and a good book. A chef and an author both are two creative people who express themselves through their work. Now, I am neither a chef nor an author, but I happen to be a person who enjoys cooking as well as reading good books. That is the reason why I keep discussing this with you. Now, coming to today's book, it is one of the Mexican's biggest classics that was translated in English. It is Like Water for Chocolate. For people who call food just food, will definitely change their opinion on reading this. Now, coming to the author, Laura Esquivel uses magical realism. Now, this is the term I've recently come across. It is supposed to be a genre of fiction and art that presents realistic view of world while incorporating magical elements. Now, this usually often blurs lines between fantasy and reality. Now, coming to the story, the protagonist, Tita de la Graza, whose birth occurs in kitchen while various dishes were being prepared, ends up spending most of her life in the kitchen cooking. Now, Tita is the last daughter of Mama Elena, as her father passes away within few days of her arrival. According to their family tradition, the last born daughter is not allowed to marry at all. She is supposed to take care of her mother all her life. Now, this is how Tita's life was sealed on the day her father dies. So, Tita mother has already two more daughters other than Tita being the youngest, and a huge house and a ranch to actually take care of. Now, Tita ends up spending most of her time in kitchen, and there's a head cook named Nacha. With her, she spends most of her time. Nacha mothers Tita more than her actual mother does. When Tita turns 15, Pedro Musiquez, who actually falls for Tita at a Christmas party, comes along with his father to ask for her hand for marriage. But Tita's mother, the cruel one, explains them the De La Graza tradition of the youngest daughter to remain unmarried and take care of her mother. Actually, Pedro asks for Tita's consent when they both were alone, and she agrees. So, with that confidence, he approaches Tita's mother, but this is what happens. She rejects his proposal and doesn't give consent to their betrothal. So, Tita's mother, however, offers Pedro her elder daughter Rosuera for marriage instead. To Tita's utter dismay, Pedro actually agrees to Mama Alina's proposal. Now, Tita has to suffer the pain of seeing the love of her life getting married to her elder sister. As if that torture doesn't end there itself, she actually has to prepare that huge banquet for their marriage. Since Tita is the best cook of all, the other two daughters were never interested in cooking. So Tita was given the opportunity, or to her dismay, she was ordered to cook the banquet for her sister's wedding. Now, author beautifully weaves the story around their recipes. Each chapter actually includes a beautiful Mexican recipe too. Like I told you, before these dishes take the story ahead. I mean, the preparation and all somehow they get connected to the story. That is the beauty of this novel. How the dishes actually are cooked, and how they affect Tita's life and others around her, and how the magic actually comes into action is something that readers should find out themselves upon reading the book. I am not going to be the killjoy. Now, Water for Chocolate is not just a novel, it's much more than that. It explains the ridiculousness of certain mean traditions and how foolishly parents are ready to crush their children's dreams citing the name of a tradition. Love is something that happens to people without their consent,
Control.
caste, creed, or financial status, or gender for that matter. How can a tradition control a person's feelings? Can you tell your heart to stop liking someone because you're bound by some horrendous tradition and you're supposed to remain a celibate, an unloved person all your life? That isn't fair, right? Who gives you a right to control a person from leading the life on their own terms, the way they wish to? Now, so what happens to Tita in the story, and why does Pedro actually agree to marry Tita's elder sister when he is in love with Tita? Is what that forms the crux of the story. This book has many characters, but Tita, Pedro, and Mama Elena, they are the main ones over here. I urge you all adults to definitely give this a try because this book is strictly for adults, not for kids. Considering the theme being so mature, you must have guessed it already since I spoke about Tita and her love and all. Now, it is not just a story woven around food with magical elements, it actually pushes you to think beyond the story. It shows you how a submissive woman realizes her worth and tries to take control over her life. The freedom she actually craved for, the love she pined for, and how she stands strong on her feet. Like I told you already, each chapter here comes with a recipe, and trust me, you would definitely fancy whipping most of the recipes. While you're reading it, you just want to know how they taste like with all the description and recipe and the ingredients used and all. But apart from that, there's one more angle to the book. The emotions actually tug your heart and will definitely leave you misty eyed. Nothing in this world is actually worse than giving up your dreams and being denied of your happiness because of some unreasonable horrendous tradition. You should be given an opportunity to live your life on your own terms. You shouldn't be forced upon by someone else, even if it is your mother. So that's what this book is about. And do give it a try, friends. I'm sure you're going to love it. Thank you.